We will start with a slip knot and chain 42 chains. Yarn over and draw a loop through your hook, yarn over and draw a loop, and this way we'll do 42 chains. The first row will be just double crochets along the chain, and we will start with chain 2, and into the third chain from the hook we'll do a double crochet, which is a yarn over, go through the 2 strands of your chain, draw a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops. And continue like this till the end of your chain. Before switching to the next color and ending this stitch, grab your green color and go through the last loop. Now you can cut the red color and you can tie it to your green. The second row starts with chain 2, and into that same stitch we'll do a double crochet. We'll skip those two double crochets are a group, so we'll skip them, and into the space between the first 2 double crochets, the first 2 stitches, and the next, we'll do 3 double crochets. So we'll be working in the spaces between the stitches. So this is our first granny cluster. So a group of 3 double crochets is a granny cluster. So we'll skip 3 stitches from the row below and we'll do another granny cluster. And we will continue doing those granny clusters for a total of 7 granny clusters along the line here. And the first 2 double crochets we will not count as a cluster, and I'll meet you there. Now it's time to do the heel. So into the next group of granny clusters, we will do 2 groups in the same space. So skip 3 again, and then we do 1 granny cluster, we chain 2, and into the same space we do another granny cluster. So 3 double crochets here. So it starts forming. So we go all the way till the end, doing only granny clusters in every 3 stitches. So we skip 3 again and we do a granny cluster. And we repeat that till we reach over here at the tip of the stocking. So we made 5 more granny clusters, and here at the tip, where was our chain from the foundation row, we will do again a granny cluster, but 2 granny clusters here. So 1 group of 3 double crochets, and then chain 2, and then another cluster or 3 double crochets into the same space. So here is the toe of the stocking. So we will keep going with granny clusters all in those same spaces all the way till the end here, but we will not do an increase in this one. So we're just going to be a plain granny clusters all the way till the end. So again, skip those 3 into that space between the stitches. We do a granny cluster. And we again skip 3 and we do a granny cluster all the way till the end. So here it is, the second row of the stocking. And once we reach the last granny cluster, we will do into that last chain we have, we'll do 1 double crochet and then 1 more double crochet. But before we finish that last one, we're gonna switch to our next color. So I added my white color here. Before finishing that stitch, I grabbed my yarn, my white yarn, and pulled it through those 2 loops. So again, I'll chain 2, I'll turn over, and into that same stitch, like I did with the red, I'll do white double crochet. And now I can go into that space between the clusters and continue with my granny clusters all the way. All the way till I reach the tip, where I'll do again a group of 2 granny clusters with chain 2, and the heel where I'll do again an increase or 2 groups of 3 double crochets with 2 chains in between. So here I am at the tip of my stocking, and I will do 2 granny clusters with 2 chains in between, which means we are increasing here. We are increasing at the toe. So here's my first granny cluster, chain 2, and into the same space another set of 3 double crochets. Try not to be crocheting not too tight, and then we keep going with granny clusters all the way till we reach the heel of the stocking, where we'll do the same thing as we did at the tip over here. So here we'll increase at the heel, so we have 2 granny clusters. So this is the first granny cluster, chain 2, and another granny cluster into the same space. And we repeat doing granny clusters till the end of the stocking over here. So tie your next color, and into the same next space you do the same thing, a granny cluster. And all the way till the heel where you increase, and then to the tip where you increase again. Now we can turn over, since we're not going to change the color now, and we do a double crochet here. On top of the stitch, we do a chain, on top of the stitch we do a double crochet, and into the space here we do a cluster. So 3 double crochets into that space, and we go into the next space there, and we do the same thing as the previous row. We do granny clusters, and we increase at the tip and the heel. If you want a bigger stocking, then you add a few more rows of red, and once you reach the end of the row and you want to be done, you do a double crochet into that last double crochet we did before the chain, and then into that top of the chain you do another double crochet, and that will be the last for this row. Now we're gonna go on top of the stocking and do the cuff. And remember, we had that row of chains and double crochets here at that last. In those last posts we will be doing half double crochets, and we'll start with chain 1, which will not count as a stitch, we just want to go up. And then yarn over 1 time, draw a loop from the first post, just go around the first post of the row and pull through all these loops on your hook, and you do it 1 more time into that same post. So now we go into the second post of that row, and we do the same thing, a half double crochet and 1 more half double crochet into the same space, and I'll go and do that around all the posts here. Once you reach the end of your row, chain 2 and turn your work. Now we'll do a row of double crochets till the end of the row. Don't forget the last stitch. So after that row of double crochets, we'll start and do a cuff. For the cuff, we'll do front post and a back post stitches, which will start with chain 2. And looking at that first post here of double crochets, we'll go in front of it. So yarn over, go in the stitch from the front of your work, draw a loop, pull through the next 2 loops, pull through the next 2 loops. Now with the next stitch or the next post, we'll draw a loop from back of your work. So insert your hook, draw a loop, pull through the next 2 loops, and pull through the next 2 loops. And now the next stitch, we'll yarn over and go from the front of your work under that post, and then we'll do our double crochet. And then we'll do the same thing from the back of your work, And we'll repeat, alternating the fronts and the back of the posts till the end of the row. Once you reach the end, don't forget that last post is that the chain here that we have from the previous row. So yarn over and go at the top of this chain and make your last double crochet. There we go. Now we can turn for the next row and we'll do one more row of that ribbing. So we'll crochet 2 chains. And now that stitch here, we worked from the front, but now we'll work from the back of our work. So we can still keep the same pattern. So this stitch, so the ones that we worked from the front will work now from the back, and the ones that we work from the back will work from the front. So this one we'll do from the front because those ribbing, it pops up this way. So this will go this way, and then the next one will be from the back of the post. And we'll keep going till the end of the row. Once you reach the last stitch, which actually is your chain, go at the top of the chain. Do not forget that last chain because it's part of our work, or otherwise your stocking will start getting smaller and smaller towards the top. All right, so here is how the ribbing works. All right, so we'll do one more row and chain 2, and we do the same thing again. We're gonna work from the front post of this stitch, and we'll work from the back post of the next stitch. And I'll meet you at the end. All right, so here I'll cut my yarn, do one more chain to secure my stitch, or you can make a loop here for hanging. And now I can add my next color. In order to make the bubbles as a finishing touch here on top, we need to work from the back side. So if you decided this is your front side of your stocking, then flip to the back, and we're going to start with our white color. So make a slip knot here, get your hook through it, and you start with the first stitch. You can actually weave in here at the top, so when you do your bubbles, you can actually trap that tail here, and then you don't have to do anything about it. All right, so this is extra. So I got my white color here, and we go to the first stitch, and we do a single crochet here. And we will chain 2, and into the same stitch we'll do 2 extended double crochets. So pull, draw a loop, and pull through that first loop only, yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops, and you keep them on your hook. Now yarn over and draw your next loop. Yarn over and pull through the first loop only, then yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops, and you keep your new loop on your hook. And now we have 3 long stitches there. Yarn over and pull through all of them, and then into the next stitch you do a single crochet. And now your bubble will just pop on this side, and do 2 more single crochets in each stitch after that. So that's the first and the second. So now you'll have 3 single crochets between each bubble. Now we'll chain 2 again and yarn over 1 time, and into the next stitch we do extended double crochet, which is draw up a loop, yarn over and pull through that loop, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, and wait, and do it 1 more time. And now I have 3 stitches. Pull through all of them, and into the next stitch you do a single crochet, and your bubble is secure. And then 2 more single crochets. And that's how you're gonna work till the end of the row. All right, so here at the last bubble, we will, since we started with a bubble, we're gonna end up with a bubble here, and we'll do the same thing. And we'll finish in that chain we had at the beginning. We'll do a single crochet there, chain 1, and you can finish with your white color. All right, so here is our stocking or at least half of it. So we'll do one more. So we'll do one more piece like that, and then we'll sew them together, and that's it. So for this stocking, I used Mainstays acrylic yarn and Red Heart Super Saver in white, and this one is red and just green. They are 7 ounces, about 200 grams, and 397 yards. For the green, the red one is heavier. It's twice the size of this one. It's 14 ounces, about 400 grams. They're all three of them are 4-weight yarn, and the Super Saver is 8 ounces for 225 grams. They're all 100% acrylic. They're machine washable. They're perfect craft yarn for purposes like those. But you can use any color you want. You can use any yarn you want. This will make the stocking a little bit stretchy. So it's a good idea if you line it up with fabric to make it less stretchier, or use cotton yarn. So these are other options for that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, you learned something, or it gives you an inspiration to create. Make sure you watch the next video with great ideas and inspirations, and I'll catch you in the next tutorial.